Sure. I'll do my job. Sorry for format, I'm on mobile. My sister told me I should post this story. I'm a young person working in a backroom position at a retail store. I've been working there for about a year now. My management when I started was excellent, and as a result I am very well trained. I never got written up, am always on time, and I consistently do things well above my pay grade. I fill in for my supervisor in the back room and can run it by myself if need be, and I trained our newest supervisor in her position. If you're wondering, I didn't take the supervisor job because it required changing my shift time. I knew all the fine details and was a team trainer as well. Basically, I was a supervisor but without the pay raise. My managers moved on to greener pastures and their positions were filled by new management. The new management doesn't compare to the quality of the old management. Our store manager, I'll call her Karen, is the worst manager I've had the displeasure of working for. She loves workplace politics, acting snaky and micromanaging everything. When suggested solutions to problems, Karen would rather take a less effective route just to be the one in charge. When she messes up, instead of admitting it, Karen blames anyone but herself and makes it their responsibility to avoid looking dumb. Karen doesn't help when shush is needed, rarely does her job, takes personal phone calls all day and sits in her office on her computer. She's rude, inconsiderate and incompetent. All in all, Karen is an awful boss. I tried to make peace with Karen at first, but we quickly started bumping heads and our relationship is shaky at best. We're cordial with each other, but Karen wanted me to abandon 100% of my authority while still running the back, which couldn't happen because others come to me for direction a lot. We don't speak to each other when we don't have to. Well, Karen screwed up. One day in the back, we finished with a group activity. Simply put, I had to pee, so once we were done I told my supervisor I needed a quick bathroom break and headed out to the bathroom. The second I began my business, I got called on the intercom by Karen to come to the back room. Sigh. I finished up quickly and got back to the stockroom. I was gone about 5 minutes tops. When I walked in, Karen was immediately interrogating me on where I'd been and what I was doing. I told her I'd gone to the bathroom and she continued asking, like the answer was gonna be different. Eventually, Karen said this absolute gem to me, which she couldn't have known would change the course of our time at this company forever. Karen says, "You need to use company time more wisely, and do your job." Quote. Okay, remember how I said I was basically the backup stock supervisor at this institution? My list of self-appointed management duties was actually pretty long. Training new people, fixing damaged items, fixing packaging, training the supervisors, doing paperwork, delegating tasks, giving instructions to people, taking garbages out, cleaning the stockroom. The list goes on and on. When Karen said this to me, something clicked. You see where this is going? I stopped all of it. All the managerial stuff went right out the window. Do my job? Okay, I'll do my job. Not your job, not her job, only mine. That's what you asked, right? Direct your own team, do your own paperwork. Train your own supervisors. 'Cause I'm just a lowly waggy, right? Yep, my stockroom fell apart quickly. Suddenly the entire room was in disarray, new people weren't being trained, faulty product was put out, my new supervisor had no idea what to do other than copy me so none of the paperwork got done. Garbages stopped being taken, people in the stockroom didn't have direction, the floors were dirty, etc. I wonder why. It was a mess. And management couldn't say anything about it, because those were management's duties and not my problem. I know that Karen knew what I did, but all she could do was silently fume about it, suck it up and actually do her job. She got pissy with me after this and tried giving me less shifts, but that didn't last. Management finally got involved with the stockroom. I've never been so satisfied with myself, all because Karen couldn't accept that I had to pee. What are you gonna do? Fire me for doing my job? LMAO. Edit. My first gold, thank you all so much for the awards and nice replies. With all the open positions right now, I'm always surprised when managers suck at keeping staff happy when they are internally motivated to do a good job. I'd like to make a poster that says, all you have to do is be a decent human being. Good for you. Tell management that you're not going back to doing all of the other things until you get a raise. You may not have the title, but if you are doing the work you should be paid for it. Another story about poor corporate training. Instead of continuing making you want to wear several hats and keep the store running well, her training tells her putting into your place was the way to go. She had no idea how to get back to you lightening her load. How do they train these people? I guess she was pissed that everything went down the toilet. Just do my job, and no other. Great. But you're in for a surprise. I've worked retail stockroom before. There's significant other much going on. If your backroom crew is working like a well-oiled machine, you leave them to their devices. They know what they are doing. Also, lowering your hours for no reason is illegal retaliation. Being a good manager is about taking care of your people like a shepherd watching over a flock, being fair not arbitrary, and empowering them to make good decisions based on common sense. You have to help them fade the heat from upper management. The golden rule always applies. Well, you certainly pissed on her parade. Good story. But, then, now what? What penalties did Karen suffer? Is this the current status? If so, craving a follow-up. Please don't do more than you're paid to. They should compensate you for doing more than you're paid to. Too many places take advantage of people, especially young people. Anti-work. My manager is just like your Karen. Scarily similar. Working to contract is a worker rights tactic to sway management popularized by unions. I'm impressed that you discovered it on your own. Maybe you have a future in union organizing. Sounds exactly like my new manager. Wish I had done something similar before I quit. Instead I went to her boss and it turns out they were actually friends, and I got told to basically shut up and deal with it. So I went home that night and found another job. My last day is this Friday and I start my new job next week. I stopped doing everything once I handed in my resignation, and my work is in disarray now. So screwed up and the biggest mess because I stopped answering questions and just started saying, I don't know. It's nice watching it all burn down. 99% of militia compliances are I stopped doing work duties that I sent in my work job description for free. Good on you. Now what to do about all that wage theft? Doing managerial duties without managerial pay. As a student, I had a lot of summer jobs where the managers did nothing and pushed their work onto the summer workers. They laughingly told us it was the manager's summer vacation. Gotta love people who want power without responsibility. Good for you. Such an exemplary fuck around and find out. Too long did not read. You're needing to piss, pissed off Karen and she got pissy. So you told her to piss off. Something similar happened to me recently. I was passed over frequently for a promotion and raise even though management admitted I was doing the work of two people in a higher position than what I was getting paid for. So I went back to doing only the work of the position they were paying me for. I've moved to another role in a different department, but that team has few senior members because I was not the only person they treated this way. All of that experience and knowledge has been replaced by people who've been there a year or less. My buddy is a retail manager. Based on the conversations I have with him, I suspect new or crappy managers get given stores where things are going well to give them a chance to learn, while guys like him get given stores in tough shape in order to turn him around. Either that or they get promoted to regional manager and further away from the goods and customers. Good story, and very well written. Thanks for sharing your MC. OMG, that's awesome, keep doing it. Good ol' manglement. Awesome. Karen got what she asked for. The folks over at Anti-Work might also appreciate this. This is suspiciously similar to my old workplace. Are you in Ireland? All because Karen couldn't accept that I had to pee. I hope you mentioned this in passing when management was tearing her a new one. A note to future me when I finally became a manager. Rule number 1: do not tell people to do their job. I, an overdoer of all things asked of me, finally realized my own worth. It took way too many decades because I'm not a white cis male. I'm a young person working. Worst manager ever. Worst manager so far. So I seem to get a lot of flack for this one, but the natural response to poor management and poor conditions should be withholding performance. I always hated working with people like OP because it didn't matter how much management whipped us, OP would be there to pick up the slack, so management never actually suffered the consequences of treating people like shit. Withholding performance is really the only way to vote in corporate dynamics like that. If you're not going to treat me like a human, I'm going to do the absolute bare minimum and sometimes below it. Figures another Karen. What are you gonna do, fire me for doing my job? In my experience, yes. Hence why from my second job onwards I do my job well, but nothing I'm not being paid to do is right off the table. Yeah, it would take to actually do something. I do as well. You weren't even asking for more money. All she had to do was leave you alone for you to go above and beyond, and she couldn't even do that. What a terrible manager. Why you doing her work the first place? I would have stamped that out straight away. Why do I think this is a GameStop? Tears of joy, tears of joy, tears of joy. Hopefully she soon left afterwards. I feel like your boss needs a P. Martini award. Your bladder filled on the job, you get to empty it on the job. Man, quit slaving away for corporate. No pay increase, no extra work. Apply that to every job. Extra money, extra responsibility. No extra money. Get fucked Karen LMAO. Why did you do it in the first place? Kinda nonsensical IMO. What a fucking dimwit of a boss, LMAO. Delicious. Thanks for the treat. Make sure all those extra duties go in your job resume. Hashtag this is the way. Managing 101. A stable foundation will be able to survive most disasters. Keep your lower station workers happy and efficient, and they will step up to help in disasters. If you piss them off, they will leave and your house will fall apart so quickly. It's sad when people don't seem to know this. Gee, if only you could quit and find another job.